Alright, sports fans, we're back. Perfect timing as we load inside of one of the gods' models. But we are in the match, and it is about to begin. On the red side, defending the Castle of Chaos and the Titan of Chaos. It's, oh wow, pause. It's pause. That's what it is. The game has been paused by Undead Pilot at 1 minute and 22 seconds before the game even starts. And defending the Titan of Chaos is pause. Why is this my life? Like, I don't understand. Like, you try to do good things. Oh, okay, here we go. Oh, Undead Pilot disconnected. I see. Wow, that's unfortunate. You know, I was cracking a joke. Fortunate. I wonder what's gonna happen. That DC is probably gonna hurt him. As I was saying, I kind of don't want to continue. I kind of just want to wait and see if he'll come back. As I was saying, defending the Titan of Chaos is disconnect. No, I'm just kidding. It's Undead Pilot on the Time Lord Kronos, and all the way across the way, weighing in at 140 pounds, defending the lovely Titan of Order. It's Squiglu in the classic Kronos skin, and Undead Pilot has returned, so thank goodness. All he needs to do now, he's got 30 seconds. He can buy some items and stuff, hang out, you know, scratch his nose a little bit before he wanders out and figures out what he wants to do with the world. Interestingly enough, we're seeing a bit of build diversity between the Kronosei, Chronosei with like CHRONUSAE. I think I like Chronosei just because it's fun to say. Anyway, we're seeing Shoes of Focus, or good lord, we're not seeing Shoes of Focus yet. We're seeing Shoes come out, Shoes 2, and on Undead Pilot, we're seeing Vamp Shroud and Shoes 1, and also a different start. Both Chronosei are starting on the same side, but Squiglu is doing the damage camp, and Undead Pilot is doing his mana camp. Now, Squiglu finishes his red buff after Undead Pilot finishes his mana buff, but Squiglu manages to get the first early poke onto Undead Pilot, and now we have a Kronos off. Undead Pilot, unfortunately, on the lower end here, gonna get caught out and slammed. Will he die? Oh, what was that, Undead Pilot? Will you die? Oh, he dies. Squiglu manages to catch him in a very interesting, I bit my tongue there, a very interesting position, and secures the kill very early on. Less than a minute into the game, and one Kronos is already clearly superior. I'm really hoping that this isn't due to Undead Pilot's connectivity issues. I'm hoping that he's able to pull it together, because that is quite worrisome if he's this far behind because of connectivity issues. But as we saw earlier, he did his buff camp on time. He had his items ready. So honestly, I think it was just a little bit of bad decision making. And we have Squiglu backing as Undead pushes the lane. Both players are level 5, but we've got First Blood gold in Squiglu's pocket from that kill. 400 gold up and 184 experience. So Squiglu manages to finish his Shoes of Focus like I said earlier. He's finishing those actually, and coming back in the lane, a level up on Undead Pilot. And we're seeing both throughout the Kronos 3. I wish I knew the name of the skill. The farm resumes, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, Undead Pilot going to be a bit of the aggressor this time. Both Kronos is throwing out the 3. Undead Pilot taking more poke in this exchange. Squiglu is going to be the aggressor. And Undead Pilot pops his sprint to escape, but again, not the best decision making. He's going to rewind, use his ultimate, and rewind towards Squiglu. Squiglu, again, just being aggressive, poking Undead Pilot down. He's got the luxury to do so. He's got the health, he's got the mana. And Undead Pilot has to back here, while Squiglu is able to decide if he wants to keep pressing the lane or back. He's going to... Wow, I'm sorry. He's going to decide to back. I'm sorry. I've been shellcasting for like the past 4 hours by myself. I'm not tired, but my jaw hurts. Like, my jaw really hurts. I didn't know if I would ever experience this feeling, but I have, and I'm very uncomfortable with it as Undead Pilot rolls back in the lane. And we're seeing him just go ahead and just get his farm on. Just relax, have a good time. He's like, I'm a kill down, whatever. I'll be fine. I'm gonna get my paper, gonna get my gems. Alright, so Squiglu is managing. He's got his Void Stone started here. So that's going to help him out quite a bit against Undead Pilot. Undead Pilot likes to play the aggressor, but he has a habit of getting himself caught out sometimes. That might spell doom for him, especially with Squiglu having the Void Stone, having that little bit of extra protection. He's going to be able to withstand if Undead Pilot goes in after him and also shut him down. Both characters wandering over for the speed buff. Everybody wants their speed, especially on Chronos. That speed is going to pay out in dividends during the laning phase, and I guess in 1v1 Joust there's nothing else other than the laning phase. I mean, it's all just one big lane. More farming coming off here. Squiglu and Undead Pilot the same level this time, actually. I thought Squiglu would pop ahead to level 9, but he doesn't. Let's take a look at the gold and XP difference. 500 gold difference and 300 XP difference in favor of Squiglu. But Undead Pilot has caught up in levels. They're both level 8. Choose a focus on both of the Cronoses. Chronos A, Chronos I, Chronos C, whatever. And Voidstone 2 coming out from Squiglu. And Undead Pilot is going to roam over for the red buff. But Squiglu knows it is coming. Squiglu's hungry for another kill. Catches him with the Chronos 3 into a stun. And lands his 1. Rewind coming out from Undead Pilot, which does nothing because he didn't move anywhere in the last 8 seconds while he was doing that buff. So now we have both Cronoses, Chronos A, Chronos C, Chronos Song, just caught out against each other. This is very, very awkward. But clearly Undead Pilot is in the retreating position here. He's being backed up towards his base. And they're fighting. Squiglu now, however, has less health. Oh, lands a 1. Gonna rewind to get his health back. And now he's gonna chase down Undead Pilot. Oh, Undead Pilot wanted to back there, but he doesn't have the opportunity to because Squiglu is just gonna make it a hard knock life for him. Oh, is he? No, he's not. He's not going to. Squiglu catches a tower shot in the back of the head for his troubles. Proxies a wave and wanders off. Let's hop on board Squiglu for a second. Oh, that's not. Okay, let's. So, Squiglu's going to hang out and take this red buff. Have a jolly good time of doing so while Undead Pilot finally wanders back in the lane. Squiglu's going to back, so we're going to switch over to Undead Pilot. This Chronos v Chronos. Undead Pilot picks up Fatalis first, and this is a very interesting pick for Chronos because arguably Chronos has a built-in Fatalis mechanic on his 2 where he has increased movement speed and doesn't suffer the firing penalties when his 2 is active. But Fatalis is still good on Chronos. Not Hasten Fatalis, but regular Fatalis. Both Chronos is opting for Fatalis, and Squiglu managing to finish his Void Stone into a Focus Void Stone. That little bit of extra penetration going to pay out, again, in dividends for him when he's fighting this other Chronos. Getting really tired of saying Chronos. Really tired of saying Chronos. You guys, like... Oh, catches Undead Pilot with the 3-1 combo. Even though he's got the wave to contend with, Undead Pilot again has to back. Well, not has to, more so wants to. He's going to finish this Fatalis, and contrary to popular public opinion, picks up Hasten Fatalis on Chronos. Hopefully this pays out. I'm really hoping this pays out for him. Undead Pilot's back in lane as Squiglu has wandered over to his mana buff to just pop it for himself real quick. Try to find Undead Pilot. Oh, Undead Pilot has wandered over to his mana buff to go take it. Well, excuse me, Squiglu didn't take the mana buff, he just got the experience from it and just left it on the ground. And he's going to go ahead and back and get his Fatalis too, whereas Undead Pilot actually picks up his mana buff off the ground, has his haste and Fatalis, pops his 2, is ready to rumble. I really want to see more damage from Undead Pilot. I think it would have been a smarter move to build a little bit more offensively, considering he's behind, because he can potentially trick Squiglu into engagements that are actually unfavorable for him. Squiglu is going to... Oh, I'm terribly sorry. That was quite rude of me. Squiglu is going to wander off to his speed buff and take it for himself, wanting to favor that speed because his Fatalis isn't done, and Kronos being an auto-attack mage like Zeus, you know, being a mage character where you have these abilities that do quite a lot of damage, but at the end of the day, your damage is based off of ability scaling. You know, you're an ability power character. You're a mage. Kronos plays differently despite all that, and that speed is going to pay out for him. Ooh, Undead Pilot's just pressing down the lane now. So we're seeing a bit more of a farm fest. It's very interesting that like Squiglu has had this advantage with first blood, but he hasn't been pressing it. Oh, Squiglu now being the aggressor, looking to see what Undead Pilot's going to do. Undead Pilot's going to back, see if he can slip out. Squiglu's just going to let him back. He's just going to let him back. Let's slide away. Oh, no, he's not just going to simply let him back. He's going to let him back and take his speed camp, because Squiglu likes speed. Remember that, kids. Haste and Fatalis on both of these Kronos players. I'm not sure I understand the logic behind it, considering Kronos has a built-in Haste and Fatalis mechanic, but I, you know, to each their own. I'm not here to criticize the builds, merely talk about them. And we're seeing also a Telkeen's Ring come out from Undead Pilot. That's interesting that he's able to squeeze out a little bit more in terms of items as far as, you know, the difference between the two go. But Squiglu didn't pick up his starter item, so he had a bit more gold to play with. So it's natural for him to have, like, technically one less item, but he's still better off. Both players are level 13. There is a 500 gold difference and a 200 XP difference. And we see the fight popping off here. Both Kronos is trying to duel each other out with auto attacks and landing the 3-1 combos. Undead Pilot's on the lower end of the exchange, but Squiglu catches a 1 and manages to drop a little bit lower. Undead Pilot is reaching up. He uses his 2. They're moving in, trying to land autos on each other. Oh, here comes the rewind from Squiglu. Squiglu got some health back, trying to kill Undead Pilot. Oh, here comes the rewind from Undead Pilot. Oh, man. Somebody call Blockbuster, because these kids love to rewind. They could use the summer job. I'll be here all week. So, very nice poking between both Kronosai, Kronosonk. Undead Pilot coming out slightly ahead because he didn't have to back. And he's able to both pressure Squiglu's tower as well as take the red buff. Excuse me for one moment. Okay, I'm back. Sorry. Let's take a quick look here. I want to see if... Oh, there it is. There it is. There it is. There it is. Undead Pilot has managed to eke ahead ever so slightly in terms of experience. Oh, it's back in favor of Squiglu, but that's only because of this wave right here. See a bit more poking here. This is going to be a very interesting fight. I think we're going to see this third place battle drag out until the respawn timers become the main elements, like the main thing that drive the battle, because there are two Kronoses. They're going to play this poke game until somebody either forgets to rewind or gets stunned before they can rewind. We're seeing 2 Fists of the Gods come out here. And beads from Squiglu to negate the Fist of the Gods effect from Undead Pilot and drive him back. They both... Oh, no. Honestly thought they both popped there too. Undead Pilot pops his sprint to chase down Squiglu. Squiglu potentially baiting Undead Pilot back, or he's just being driven back, actually. Not sure what's going on here. Let's go... Wow, Squiglu is being taken low here. Undead Pilot being the aggressor, driving Squiglu back, maybe picking up a kill. No, they're both low here. Misses his 3. Undead Pilot, however, gets hit by the 1 and is going to rewind to gain back health and mana. And he's going to... I'm going to say he wants to withdraw, but he's looking to pick up another... Oh, no. He was looking to see if he could pick up a kill there. The kill wasn't pick-upable, which is not a word, but, you know, don't tell your parents it's not a word. And so he's just going to elect to pick up Squiglu's speed buff and then just peace out. And Scrigglu loves his speed buff, like I was saying earlier, guys. So when he came over here wandering for his speed, he turned away a very sad panda, because Undead Pilot had already done it for him. Scrigglu's going to wander off, probably take the red buff or the mana. Yeah, he's going for red. And Undead Pilot knows it and is going to come and contest him for it. Scrigglu backs off wisely, resetting the buff camp so he won't lose it. But he ends up losing it anyway. Oh, wait, hang on. Nope, Undead Pilot's going to... Oh! Oh, who got it? Undead Pilot got it. Undead Pilot got the buff that time. So Undead Pilot is north taking his speed buff, and Scrigglu just took mana for himself. Both characters are going to run around back into the lane now and resume their farm. Polynomicon coming out from Undead Pilot after they finish Telkeen's Ring. Telkeen's Ring is going to offer just a little bit of additional magical damage to the target on auto attacks, and they're dueling here again inside of on the edge of Scrigglu's tower. Scrigglu being forced onto his back foot now, and Scrigglu is going to back potentially to finish his Rod of Tahuti, and that means he's going to be squeezing out quite a bit more magical power with his 3s and his 1s, and a little bit more on his auto attacks as well, since they converted magical power to affect magical gods auto attacks. They're in-hand autos. Undead Pilot finishes his Polynomicon, and Scrigglu wanders over for the speed because Scrigglu loves his speed, you guys. Like, you don't understand how much he loves his speed. But it's not there, so he backs. Undead Pilot wanders over to take his blue buff. Does he take his blue buff? No, he just takes the experience from the blue buff and wanders back into lane. 14 minutes in, and we're seeing both towers still standing. However, Scrigglu's tower, despite taking first blood and having the only kill on the match, has taken more damage. And Scrigglu is being pressed back into his tower at this point. 600 XP in favor of Undead Pilot. And... ooh. 9 gold too, it seems. Both characters are farming up, a little engagement popping off here. Some 3s are landed, some 1s are not though. And we're seeing them try to land Fists of the Gods on each other so they can land more efficient auto attacks. But Scrigglu has to contend with minions. Despite that, he's managing to whittle down Undead Pilot slightly more. Now they're both about dead even, both in terms of level and in terms of health and mana. It really comes down to who rewinds first. Oh wow, Undead Pilot catching an unfortunate one, and then Auto Series just claims his life. Very close, but Scrigglu comes out ahead, and what Scrigglu's going to do here now, that Undead Pilot is dead for 35 more seconds, is just take his tower. Wow. I'm honestly surprised. I'm honestly quite surprised. I thought Undead Pilot was going to make a good play and manage to catch off Scrigglu, but nope. Nope. .jpg, ladies and gentlemen. Scrigglu just manages to outplay Undead Pilot ever so slightly and pick up a kill. Now we're going to see Scrigglu press for the Phoenix. Undead Pilot dead for another 7 seconds. Potentially he can get the Phoenix here, and it's gone. The Phoenix is gone. That's the thing about 1v1 Joust. If these matches get to the point where like there's so few kills and then somebody dies 1 or 2 times like that around this late in the game, and remember, I'm air quoting, you can't see me, but I'm air quoting, this late in the game, you're going to be dead for a long time. And when you're dead for that long, people are going to be able to do so much while you're dead. Like Scrigglu, who just took a tower and a Phoenix in the span of 40 seconds. Undead Pilot now having to play from the back foot. He's going to have fire minions to contend with very, very soon. So since he's playing from the back foot, let's get behind his back and see what he has to deal with. Fire minions are tearing down the lane. Scrigglu over in the corner taking buffs, wandering around. He doesn't have too much to worry about. He's ahead of Undead Pilot by 1,100 gold and 300 experience. Scrigglu's tower is under attack, but he's here doing cleanup duty. And Undead Pilot is wandering through the jungle looking for buffs. He's hungry. He needs XP, but he can't hang in lane too well with Scrigglu, so he's looking for other sources of income. Seeing Polynomicon come from Squigloo as well. And the Finnish Rod, like we said earlier, they're dancing with each other, missing autos, trying to land a series, but Undead Pilot gets caught out so badly here. To make it back to his base, he has to go this way, and he's this way. What is he going to do? To make it back to his base, he has to go through Squigloo. Undead Pilot is roaming over north. South, technically. He's just going to back. Squigloo's not going to care. Squigloo's just going to push. If I was Squigloo, honestly, I probably would have tried to catch a kill there. It just would have been an easy kill. He could have either killed him or forced him to run all around the map. And he doesn't need to because he forces the rewind and this tiny little engage popping off here at the edge of the Phoenix. Undead Pilot now has to defend his Chaos Titan without a rewind. And I am eating my words from earlier where I said it's very unfortunate for the lovely Lady of Luck, the Titan of Order, to be on the losing end so often. Because now Squigloo is pressing into the Chaos Titan's base, almost dying to Titan damage and from Chronos, but rewinds and gets caught in an unfavorable position. 3 landing on him, 1 landing on him. Oh, it's so close! Undead Pilot almost took the bacon there. But he manages to come out on top and lives. That was so close. You know, Undead Pilot had minions on his side ever so slightly. Let's see what he can do at his advantage. The thing is, Undead Pilot is so low right now, he really can't afford to stay. You know, if a minion gets lucky, he might be able to kill him, but at the same time, you know, just play it right. The minions won't kill you. Undead Pilot, or excuse me, Squigloo's down for another 20 seconds. This is your time to push. This is your time to make something happen, and your middle Phoenix is respawned. This is really good for you. So Squigloo down for another 10 seconds. Undead Pilot is probably only going to be able to pick up this tower here before backing. But that's good enough for him. That's going to help close the gap. Squigloo is now ahead by only 69 gold. And he's behind in experience by 628. Wow. Undead Pilot catching up. You see Squigloo build the Gem of Isolation. He's probably going to turn that into Gem of Binding, which means on every auto attack that hits the enemy, it's going to be offer a slight slow. That's very strong for Chronos with his fast auto attacks and his ability to dance around opponents. Chronos is really going to want that so he can slow people and stay with them as he takes them apart. And we're seeing Undead Pilot not only managing to finally secure himself a kill, but finally drive back Squigloo, and Undead Pilot makes it to 21st. Let's check out the XP. 628 XP difference. He's 600 XP ahead of Squigloo. And Squigloo does not have a tower to fall back to here. So they're just going to duel in the mid lane and see what happens. One's missed on both sides. Now they're just hanging out. Quite literally in the case of Chronos, considering he can hang in midair. 2 activated, 2 twos activated. They're going to swing at each other. Undead Pilot catches the very tip of the stun and the 1. And right as he tries to rewind, gets autoed down. This might be the game for Squigloo. Nice try by Undead Pilot, but Squigloo has 50 seconds to take his Phoenix and his Titan, and there's very little stopping him. There goes the Phoenix. Here comes Squigloo for the Titan. Oh, here it comes. Oh, here it comes. Oh, there you go. There you go. Here comes the Titan. Undead Pilot can't do anything for 30 seconds. This might be the Titan. And there's the Titan. Good game to Squigloo. Congratulations on your 3rd place.